At 4:20 in the morning on December 17th, 1946, 14-year-old paperboy Joseph Samsil stopped by the station, the Beacon Oil Service Station at 3201 Buckeye Road, to inflate one of his tires so that he can do his paper route. When he didn't see any attendant, he went inside looking for him, and behind the counter, he found the attendant dead. Joseph immediately ran home. He told his father, and his father called the police. When deputies arrived, they found 39-year-old service station night attendant Dwight Gressley lying on his side, the left side of his head and face completely crushed. Missing was a cash box containing $28 and a pistol that Dwight kept. On the counter, they found Ariz9na Republic newspaper clippings and an unfinished letter that Dwight had been writing before he was killed. The letter he was writing was to a relative back in Akron, Ohio. The unfinished letter read,
"I like my job a lot, but it is awful lonely and kind of dangerous. My boss was here a minute ago and he told me to be on the lookout for anything suspicious, and if anything looked funny, to call him at once. So it is 1 a.m., and things are quiet so far. Boy, there is a wave of robberies out here, and those guys shoot and ask questions afterwards. I am sending you clippings of what happened last night that is near where I work. Boy, things was hot there for a little while. There was police everywhere."
Police interviewed suspects that had been seen in the area around the time of the murder. But when they interviewed 18-year-old bakery employee James Ritchie, they knew they had their suspect. Ritchie had been seen hanging around the Beacon Oil Station every night of that week in the early hours of the morning. When he began to tell conflicting stories, Sheriff's Captain Stanley Kimball slapped Ritchie, making his nose bleed, and told him he would be in solitary until he told the truth. Ritchie confessed not long after receiving his dinner while in his cell. He said Dwight called him a vile name and that he didn't take that from anyone. So he beat him over the head with a tire iron. But he denied taking the gun and robbing the place. As police continued to grill him, he eventually admitted that not only did he kill him, but he did take the gun and the cash box. Ritchie led detectives to where his discarded cash box was, which was in an irrigation ditch nearby, and to where he hid the weapon, the murder weapon, which was under a house near his home. And the gun, it was found in Ritchie's car. The murder made headlines in the newspaper, especially because of the letter that he was in the process of writing before he had been killed. A photo appeared in the paper of Gressley's wife reading the letter that he had been in the process of writing before he was killed. James Ritchie was charged with first-degree murder. In February in 1947, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Like many sentenced to life in prison, Ritchie would eventually be released in 1973. He then got a job as a carpenter, and he died in 1980. He's buried at the Rest Haven Park East Cemetery in Phoenix. Dwight Gressley is buried at the Greenwood Memory Lawn Cemetery in Phoenix. He was survived by his wife and 2 children and his father. And this is the location as it appears today, where Dwight Gressley lost his life in 1946.